coach who approached me and said like, hey, the kids are watching the videos from the DBB channel and they see the sport in a different way and they think now it's cooler to play badminton. And that's the biggest compliment because that's what you want to achieve. The more people you bring in, the better the product gets and the more professional every part of the whole thing becomes. I'm just a kid who loves sport, you know. That's the best place where you can be if you love the sport of badminton. So I'm just so thankful that we get those opportunities like so many times, and I want to do it as long as I can.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Average Not Average podcast. I'm CK.
And I'm Viktor.
And today we are joined by none other than Thomas Fuchs, or Thomas Fuchs in German. He's a man of many talents, and I met him a little bit over 3 years ago at the 2023 Yonex All England tournament when he was media manager for Badminton Europe. Besides that, Tommy has been involved in the sports media industry for almost a decade, with a lot of that time in the badminton space. Additionally, Tommy also has experience in commentary, commentary specifically at the Paralympics as well as other events, and is also the host of the Shuttle Squad Badminton podcast, which has just entered its third season.
Currently, Tommy is also the media manager for the German Badminton Association, the DBV, as well as being the press officer for the Hilo Open for the past 9 years. He also runs his own media company and has done a lot of work with Yonex DE as well as Hilo Brand 2. Tommy, alongside myself, who was also recently nominated for the Badminton Europe Social Media Award for the 2026 Badminton Europe Awards. Social Media Award for the 2026 Badminton Europe Awards. So we have a lot of learned from him today.
Yeah, 100%. He's a man of many talents, and Tommy is here with us today to discuss all about his experience within the years of badminton media, as well as the business side of his work. Welcome to the podcast, Tommy. How are you?
Welcome, Tommy.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much. What an honor. What an honor. What a great introduction as well. Thank you so much.
I mean, it is tough. I think you mentioned to say that this is weird, a little bit funny for you because you're normally the ones asking the questions. Now you're not.
Yeah, I'm way more nervous than usually because I don't know what you guys are going to ask, and usually I'm on the other side. So usually it's easy. I prepare my questions and then I just ask them. And this time I have to wait what you guys are coming with. Yeah.
I think you'll be fine for sure.
No, I think from the last
hopefully.
I think from the last episode, Viktor is going to do 5 minutes of stand-up comedy for every single episode of our podcast recording.
I heard that. Yeah.
I think the signal is not very great coming from Viktor's side. Oh yeah, Viktor, are you okay? You're back?
You don't think my connection is good? I think it's fantastic. I can hear literally 2 words and then I can see my own picture freezing. It's crazy. Anyways, it's
welcome to 2026
at home at the moment, so I'm like trying to figure out the best way.
Okay, I'm struggling to hear Viktor a little bit. Hang on.
Yeah, the transcontinental connection is not ideal at the moment.
Hang on. Let me message him. I think we might have lost you. We do. He's gone.
In that moment, he's gone. Classic.
Yeah.
I'm so familiar with that situations. We have that all the time in the shuttle squad when like Kirsty and Christo and Marvin are somewhere around the world, and it's always so tough to find you should think it's so easy nowadays to have an online call that is just working. But if you want to have good audio quality and good video quality, it's just a pain still. So many times we struggle with that.
Yeah, I think this is something that you and I both find really, really tough. But I think other people might not understand it. But yeah, we find it tough sometimes when guests joins in from a mobile platform, on their phone or something like that. But generally 5G is fine. But if they're on 4G, there's a little bit of a lag. But I think today, Viktor's Wi-Fi is not exactly good. He's saying he's trying again now.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we can hope for. I mean, it's the most frustrating part. If you are prepared, the guest is ready, and then the connection or the computer is letting you down. Yeah. Classic.
Hang on.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we see you.
I tried changing location. I hope the network, the Wi-Fi is better.
Okay, yeah.
We do what we can.
I mean, let's jump straight into it. Victor, Tommy, I think you've both known each other for a little bit of time, like seeing each other for a little while now. No,
We've seen each other many times for sure.
Yeah, obviously I know who Viktor is. I mean,
likewise. It's good to have people like both of you who are doing so much for the sport. So yeah, it's great. It's great to be talking to you both.
I want to quickly jump into this one. You were both nominated for the social media awards for Badminton Europe's awards. How did you celebrate? How did you find out? That's the first one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, it was really surprising because when as I said before, I worked at Badminton Europe for 1 year, and that was in 2023. And I think in that year it was the first time that they were giving this social media award. And I think it was a really cool thing for our sport to also acknowledge the people that put a lot of work into showcasing the sport in the internet and on social media, and bring it to the 21st century a little bit more. So there were some really great creators out there. And then seeing my name on that list felt so weird because with Viktor on that list and Mats Gustafsson and Ben Beckman, like all people that you know for so many reasons, and who have huge following and great accounts, great content. I just felt weird because I don't really have my own channel that is big or popular. I just do like my work on little or many different channels. So it was really surprising for me. And I'm really honored to be on that list with you guys.
Well deserved. Yeah, I think it's good that they do something like that because, social media nowadays is also the way for many people, maybe to people who don't really know the sport to, maybe they catch a reel or they, see an interview or whatever, and maybe it catches their, interest a little bit. So it's definitely good once again to have people like both of you who are doing so much, content, and I think it's very valuable for the sport indeed.
Yeah. Victor, how did you find out? Did Vega nominate you?
No, not really. I think I saw it. I gotta be completely honest. The last many months there has been so much going on. So while I feel extremely humbled and very, very happy to be nominated, I've had so much focus on my my rehab and everything. So awards and stuff hasn't really been on my radar, so to say. But I saw it on Instagram, I think, and to be honest, I can't even take for me, it's all, Romain is doing so much work for me. And even though it's me who is still on my Instagram posting the things, it's him who does all the work. So actually the nomination should be for him and not me.
Yeah. No, I think this is something to be proud of. I think both of you, like being nominated here, is something, I mean, it's quite an achievement. Victor, you've been nominated more than once, no? Is this your first one? No.
I think it's not the first one. But to be honest,
Nice.
Completely honest, I don't really, also these, of course, the sporting person of the year and stuff like that. It's something you remember when you go to the actual event, but awards itself is not something I put, I see it as a, very big honor, and I'm super happy to get the acknowledgement, but I'm usually so focused on other things that I usually don't spend so much time thinking about, I can't even remember, some tournaments, I can't even remember, how well I did or how many times I won. Not because I'm an arrogant, idiot, but because I'm just,
You're locked in.
I have so much focus on where I'm going.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Yeah.
I think also, obviously, for you, the social media part, it's one puzzle of the whole picture, and obviously the sport itself is your focus, where you go 100%.
Yeah.
And for me, obviously, the social media is where I put most of my time in. So I think totally understandable that for me this is like a way bigger thing because I put so much work into it, and for you it is just one of the many things that you do.
Yeah, actually, I think the award should be only for you guys on the who are not playing actively yourself but still doing tons of work on the social media kind of things. I could probably find way more other people than me who deserve it more than I do, because that's where the main focus is on the actual content. So it's CK, you must have won it, right?
No, never been nominated. Never, not even on the board.
But that's just crazy.
That's also what I said. It's how can that be? Yeah. Doesn't make any
Did you
sense.
piss someone?
Look, I mean,
someone off or something?
I have no idea how the nomination process goes, because I think, but generally, I think, for example, like being at the German Open and the All England over the past few weeks, it really cemented that humbling feeling. Like you walk on a concourse, I walk on a concourse, and then people come up to me and say, thank you so much for the content that you've done. It has helped me or her X, Y, and Z so much. But the one that will always stand out for me was, I think 2 years ago at the Indonesian Open, I was walking around, someone come and grab me and he goes, CK, I learned English because I watch your content every single weekend.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I now speak English because of this, and you go, wow, okay. Like, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right here,
Yeah.
But and I think something like that is something really unexpected, and it keeps a smile on my face, and it really tells me, okay, at least the work I'm doing, someone's watching it, and then someone's really appreciating it, and they've learned something new. They've learned to speak a new language because of it, and I'm just really glad. I'm very happy. But again, credit where credit's due. Maybe they could have a category where, because obviously, Victor, you've invested resources into bringing Roman on, and then letting him, giving him that creative freedom to be able to work on your content. Similar to Tommy, I think you did a bit of work for Mark Lamsfuss's account before you started with the DBV. You could have like a player category, and then a non-player category, like a specialist, like Tommy's and his teams are specialists, similar to kind of like what our team does. And then for player side, like you guys have put in the resources, the investment in. Maybe there should be a category for players and then a category for the pros.
For sure, good idea.
Yeah,
I mean, it's actually also super, super valuable for the players to take action and prioritize it a little bit more. So I was really happy to see that you put so much more time and, as you said, resources into it, Victor, in the last few years. Because, I mean, as you said, it helps grow everything. So many people are on social media and watch different sports, and it's just cool that we have more and more badminton content out there. Doesn't matter where it comes from, doesn't matter if it's the federations, solo creators, if it's the players, but all in all, all together we have just to do more. And I think we're on a really good way in the last 2-3 years, I think. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I think it is very important for the sport, because the young generation and people just in general are using so much time on social media, scrolling. So you need to have a presence there, and it's good. I think as you say, Tommy, over the last few years, there's been more and more creators, also people who are just like more like on the amateur, for fun playing. Even there are quite a big, a few challenge with a huge following, which is super good.
Yeah, 100%.
I think especially here in Europe, that we just show kids that it's a really cool sport to play, and that we want to get them into playing badminton more.
Yeah,
that's I think, I mean, being nominated for this award, for example, is a really nice thing. But the biggest compliment that I got so far was like from a coach who approached me and said like, hey, the kids are watching the videos from the DBV channel, and they see the sport in a different way, and they think now it's cooler to play badminton. And that's the biggest compliment, because that's what you want to achieve, like bring more people into the sport, attract more people to the sport, especially kids,
for sure,
to grow everything. Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, and I think the biggest upside is not necessarily the award, but the impact that it brings to the sport. And then also, like generating more media, more news. And I think in the last episode, we mentioned about how badminton media can be better. And media as a whole is a huge spectrum. You have the TV production all the way down to radio and the written content. Whereas I think social media kind of straddles between both. Like we're still video, but also we're conversational pieces. We're conversation starters, right? And I think it's important to understand that, like Tommy said, there's no real difference if it's coming from a federation account or a personal account. It's still content that is relevant, and people can enjoy that regardless of what age group it is. But I think Tommy, here I have one question on my notes here. Like in the last 18 months that you've worked on the DBV accounts, maybe 2 years now coming, what is the biggest change that you see in terms of coverage from your perspective? Like what was the strategy going in? Because a federation account is oftentimes quite a difficult account to manage, because it's not free space. Essentially, you can't just say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm really thankful for the DBV to give me and my colleague Fabi, who is also doing a lot of work and doing all the editing and putting way more time than I am into this whole thing. So it's not only me, even though I'm more the face that is in front of the camera, and he's doing everything in the back and also a lot of organizing and everything. But the DBB gives us a lot of freedom to do what we think is best, and that trust is so important to do our work. And obviously, as you say, there are so many people and so many different areas that a federation has to think about and care about. It's not only the high performance, it's also the young athletes, it's para badminton, it's coach education. There's so many things, the clubs, like everybody. And then when you put in more work, everybody comes to you like, hey, we also want to have more. And hey, can you also do something with us? And there's unlimited opportunities to do more. That's for sure.
But that's a good sign, no?
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's a great sign. Yeah. Because people start putting their hand up and say they want content, they want you to cover it, then it must be good. So Viktor, from your perspective, because you are now super popular and huge on social media as well, besides your playing CV, like people want you to be in content. People want you to be part of the content. I mean, this is why we're here talking now.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a great privilege to now be in this position where, even just simple educational content, we've tried to Romain and I, we've been trying to do a little bit very, very simple, like short videos, and it requires a lot of time for Romain. For me, it doesn't really require that much time. And the effect and the actual reach of those videos are still very good. So for me, if I can help so many people and I can introduce the game by just, spending an hour here and there, I think is something I will continue to do. For me, it's not so important with the financial side of things. It's simply just to educate people and to, maybe introduce people to the sport and maybe my way also of giving back to the sport a little bit. And I really much enjoy that.
Yeah, I think it's super important because, I mean, I could also do like technical videos, and many other players also could. But the fact that it comes from you and the power that your name gives to the things you are saying and the things that you are showing, and people definitely will believe if you tell them how to do a smash or anything. So that gives just way more powerful and has way more impact than anybody doing it. So really cool that you put focus on that and put your time into it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think, Tommy, going back to DBV a little bit, what is the biggest goal, the ambition? What is the ambition like to have this? And then what learning lessons can you tell us from running a federation account over the last 18 months?
I think for federations, obviously the resources are always limited for federations. I mean, they have so many things to put their money in, and in a sport like ours, I can only talk about Germany here, but there's always limited resources, and we always have to think about, okay, where do we put our money? And media was not on the priority in the past. It is more now, but still, obviously, there could be so much more, and everybody would be happy. Also in the federation, they would be happy to spend more on the media coverage. And I think I'm contracted for like 10 hours a week for the federation, so it's only it's only a part of what I do in my work week. But there's just not more, and we have to start somewhere. So I think the goal for us in the first place was to go in and say, okay, we want to have high level badminton in German language, high level badminton content in German language. So we want to show our top players. We want people to understand who they are. We want to show their personalities, so people are more connected to our national team, for example, and also to the coaches. And then we go from top down and be like, okay, now we want to have more grassroots badminton and more local club things, and more. We also try to do way more para badminton because that definitely also deserves way more coverage. So, but it's tough to have a strategy going into it because we didn't really know what we signed up for when we started. But it's kind of, we started where we thought it would be best, and then we just go along the way. I know that CK, you, for example, you are a really structured person, and you always have a plan at hand. And I mean, we can see it here. I'm here with my AirPods. Victor's struggling with the Wi-Fi a little bit. You have the microphone, and the camera is even following your hand movement. So we can definitely see how much thought you put into detail everything. Yeah, I can learn from that.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's good to have a little bit of both. That's why I try to be the exact opposite of CK. Actually, I have a microphone. I also have the small cameras, the DJIs. The problem is I'm moving all the time.
Yeah.
It just ends up being, and I think I'm best when I come a little bit not unprepared, but when I come a little bit, just like me,
Loose.
Yeah.
This is quite.
You
loose.
have to have different roles, so it's really important.
Exactly.
It's so important. I'll give you a fun fact. The team that's processing this, our team absolutely hates it that I have this camera that follows me around. I love it. The team processing it hates it, absolutely hates it. Everyone on the team hates it. I love it. So I will keep it going on. Fun fact. They'll find out about this when they're post-processing this as well.
Yeah.
But I think just going back, I think the importance of just starting was so important, right? Like just, even if it's just 10 hours a week, just starting and then starting doing it. And then you find so much more new stuff coming in, like clubs now wanting you to do stuff, top down, coaches are now involved in this process. I'm guessing it's also very similar to Viktor as well. I mean, we just did our last week published the 1 year anniversary episode, and we just started doing it. We like, in watching back some of our first episodes, especially the ones online, oh my god, like like quality we had sound issues, we had signal issues all the time, but now it's just because we started, we actually learned so much doing it. And then, I mean, we had some fun along the way as well, which I'm sure Viktor can also attest to.
For sure.
I think calling Chirag in the airport lounge booth, that was peak comedy for me.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, but time flies. It goes fast, and you must, with your podcast as well, Tommy, and everything that you do, like time flies. Especially when you are in the sport where there's always something happening. It's just time flies, really.
Yeah, I think that's basically the main message that you have to send out there for people who are thinking about doing some content creation badminton. Just do it. Just get started at some point. I would have loved to start in the federation like 5 years before, but I didn't get the chance. But I was like so many times, I just should have started creating content on my own way earlier. Because in the first few years where if you don't have many people listening, it doesn't matter. You learn so much from just publishing on a regular basis and recording on a regular basis, and it gets better over time, 100%. So, I mean, if you have listened to the Shuttle Squad podcast, we also have so many episodes where it's just complete chaos. I mean, I can imagine that with your schedule, Viktor, that's also sometimes tough to find a spot and record.
Yeah, you can see now again, sometimes when it's not your main thing, you have to take the computer with you on the road and the Wi-Fi, and stuff like that. But I think the most important thing is that you get some content out there. It's way better than no content. And luckily, CK and team, they're good at editing. So yeah,
we call it done is better than perfect. We just send it. Like we take whatever we can get, and then we absolutely go for it. But I mean, Shuttle Squad is one of the podcasts that I actually listen to consistently. So normally on a Tuesday drive to training, but then surprise, I'm not training on Tuesday anymore. At the moment. So I'm finding time. But I mean, 3 years in, Tommy, tell us a little bit more about, like what was the idea behind it? I mean, I remember you talking to me about the idea, and then you managed to get 4 players to start with you. Now currently 3 still play on the World Tour: Kirsty, Marvin, and Christo. I mean, what's the ultimate goal? Will there be any new additions this year? Stuff like that. When is Viktor and I getting invited onto the podcast ever?
Pretty soon, that's for sure. But I told you before that it's so tough to find the right spots with, and I mean you are 2 guys, we are 4, and then if we bring in 6, then it's not gonna be possible to find a recording time. But I mean the idea to start with was I just wanted to get something out there, and I think it's just super interesting. If you're not a professional player but you love the sport of badminton, to understand the perspective of players more, and to kind of understand what they do and how much work and time they put into every day like being an athlete from the outside, it feels so easy, or it looks so easy. You just train, and then you go to those really nice competitions, and then you play in front of thousands of people and you have a great time. But it's so much more work that goes in that people don't see. So that was definitely one thing that I wanted to show, and that I wanted to like have first-hand contact with the players and let them explain or let them tell their stories, basically. And I was missing like podcasts with pro players back then. And that's why I had some connections from the time at Badminton Europe, and I just reached out to them and be like, okay, should we just try this? And then in the beginning was just one-on-one episodes with the squad rotating a little bit, so they didn't have to come in every week, but it was like 1 week it's Crystal, 1 week it's Kirsty, 1 week it's Marvin. And then in the last year, but we also discovered that it's also fun if it's not only me interviewing them, but it's also them sharing stories and having different perspectives, because we have a women's singles player, we have a men's singles player that also happens to be a men's doubles player now for like quite successfully. And then we have a men's doubles player that is now a mixed player. So we have many different settings and different nationalities, also different age groups. So it was just a really interesting conversation for me. In terms of goals, I think there is no goal. The goal is to have fun and hopefully get more people to listen to it, because it is really fun. Yeah. I mean, what is your goal with this one? Probably something similar. I don't know.
Yeah. For me, I think again, as you say, I think we need a platform for players, like a longer format. When we do interviews, usually at tournaments and stuff like that, it's very short. You don't really get the full story, and you don't really get to know the players. So that was one of the goals for me. I think also it would be nice for me personally to have a format where we can get into a little bit deep in the conversations. Also some of the topics which are normally maybe a little bit, how can you say, harder to talk about, or things that we talk about but don't really say out loud. I think for me that has been quite important to have that, and with CK and team it's hard to come up with another team who can do this better, to be honest, with the life I'm having right now. So I think for me, CK, it is to hopefully grow it, get more people into the sport, and we already got so many good feedback, like yourself probably, Tommy, and that's enough for me. If we can keep having more and more listeners, returning listeners who have good feedback and who learn something, then it's all good for me.
Yeah. No, same from my side. I think it was more because we struggle to see and hear players or whoever that we have on talk outside of standard 2-minute, 5-minute interviews. 2-minute, 5-minute interviews, especially on like the mixed zone on match days, people focus on the match itself, and hence you never see the character that they are. Like, I mean, nobody would know Viktor Axelsen is funny as hell outside of the badminton court. So. And Tommy, for your side as well, like you both are hilarious. I mean, I have on my notes here funny AF, and I put that as you two, but without these platforms, people don't understand, and people don't they can't see it, and so the ability to let loose, that 45 minutes, an hour, I find there's so much value, and then. People text in, oftentimes in terms of comments and feedback to say, yeah, you are now my journey to work and from work, or coming from work, like in the car. I love that, I mean, if only there was a way where they're listening in the car and they can just, give feedback straight away and like comment, like just, I don't know, pause, and then like there's a button on the screen somewhere where they can just record their messages or something, and then that gets turned into a comment somewhere where we can actually read, because this is something that I really enjoy. I think raising awareness, and then building bridges, and providing alternate solutions to questions that people see it, but we don't know how to solve it, or at this point in time don't have a solution to. But this is for us to throw things around, and then we can do that. That bit I really enjoy. So I'm really glad that we have this platform. No, thank you.
Yeah, I think the thing that you mentioned with the mixed zone interviews, I mean, as someone who is being on the other side, Viktor, and interviewing you guys, it's always super tough if you want to get something out of the players that is not like super match related or not super serious. It feels like it's the wrong place, because in the mixed zone you come off court, and then for you especially, like so many people lining up to interview you, and then you have to answer the same 3 questions like 10 times in a row. And then after like 8 of them, you're not really like, okay, I do it again. No, you're super professional about it. Some players are not. but then it's tough to bring in some other topics, and it's also feels out of place because I mean you come from the court, you're sweating, you're cooling down. So it's also just tough to answer like deeper questions in the mixed zone, and that's why formats like this are so important.
And then also, in badminton, it's unusual. We have rest days. I know it will change next year, but so especially if you play evening matches, you know that it's like a little bit of a fight against the time. So you want to get back and recover and eat and maybe catch the next bus because there's only a bus every 30 minutes, maybe every 1 hour. So after the matches, you really just want to go down, cool down and get something to eat and get back to the hotel and actually rest. If you had off days in between, there would be also, I think, more willingness for the players to do more formats like these. So that's why usually for me, I'm always thinking about, if I don't catch the next bus, or if I don't, there's many things that which makes you not focus on the actual interview after the match, And talking about goals, CK, our goal should also be that you keep the same haircut for all the years that we have the podcast. And I don't know, have you seen on Instagram the guy with Manchester United who don't cut his hair until they win 5 games in a row?
Yeah. Yes.
You should find like a pair or a player and then just do like, if it's, I don't know, some deal and just let it grow. I would love to see it like grow.
I don't know how that would work.
If it will ever bow, it will just go straight up.
I mean, so I've seen that guy. I don't know how in 600 days his hair is only like this, because maybe mine in like day 60 is like this already, because I have perfectly straight hair. His 600 days is only this. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, we need a guy like him. We need to do one in badminton also, CK, and you're the man. You're the man for the task.
Maybe we should put it out there. Yeah,
we could do the bet like CK is growing his hair as long as Viktor is only having oatmeal and avocado for breakfast. So you both lose.
That would be good.
whoever loses first.
Shit. Yeah. No, we're doing it because I think we have this bet where Viktor is going to have avocado and oatmeal, and then I'm going to try something that Viktor doesn't like in terms of like breakfast opinions. We're gonna do it in person next time we see each other. But the hair thing is hilarious.
That's pretty hilarious. But talking about finding something where you can get how many followers didn't he get from this, and that's just
insane amount.
Social media, it's if you find like a little niche or something you do, you can really capitalize on it.
And then, so just thinking about this social media side of things. So we're based in Europe. What trends can federations or confederations do? Like something like that, like just to gain more attention. I mean, Tommy, you and Fabi will have a lot of ideas, and then Viktor, you probably have some locked in that you can't do on your own, but would love for someone else to try something like this. What can we do to raise the profile even more?
Like, I think for me personally, if you see the trend nowadays, it's usually something like fun reels, like fails or whatever. It's
fails.
Yeah, it's hard for me to really know for me personally, it's not really how I am as a person. I don't want to be, I'd rather have a little bit less.
I don't fail.
Yeah, no, not that, but you know what I mean, like very, very funny, reels, and I could do a little bit, in that thing, but it's like a hurdle I need to get over because it's not something I would much rather do, like educational content. Of course, it doesn't mean that you cannot do both of them, but still, I think it
has to fit the brand.
Yeah, it has to fit the brand, and it's a balance as well, like to get the clicks and the views is good, but also for me, educational content is way more important. Yeah.
Do you find that your topless pics get more clicks and likes?
They do, for sure. But just wait till whenever I retire, and I will start to just like hammer the upper body. Like
be like a George Russell from Formula One, right? He's always
the goal is Drago from Rocky IV, I think it is.
Draco from Rocky IV.
I want to see that happening.
That physique is crazy, but yeah, I don't know. I should We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I think, and I know what you mean, Victor. All that fun, and there are so many things that you can do in social media, but it also just has to fit your personality and to fit. It has to feel real. That's the most important thing.
Also, right? If you go on the,
yes,
you can't really just go out and make, on the line, a bit over the line content.
Yeah, we did one video back in a few years ago with the German men's team for the team championships. They always grew mustache.
Yeah.
And then there was one guy, Kenneth Neumann, like he was, I don't know, 19 that year or something, and he didn't really have one, so they painted one.
Oh yeah.
And so we had one really funny video with that. But we also realized afterwards that, I mean, everybody likes this kind of content and people remember the funny things a lot more. Like, but obviously you can't just do fun stuff. No. There also has to be some serious content because you are also, we're not doing this for fun. Like we want to be a real sport, kind of. So you have to find that balance in a way,
Role
especially
models.
on the federation content. Yeah. I think on personal content, personal accounts, you can do it more.
Yeah, for sure.
So for example, for the shuttle squad content, it was mainly a podcast platform until now. And me and Fabi were trying to get it more into a more entertaining content. Also, just sneaks in some random funny stuff because it's just more free and there's no federation or no brand behind it. Like if I do a Yonex Germany thing, I also cannot do super random stuff because the brand is like, okay, guys,
we're
a serious brand. Yeah.
No failing involved.
No failing.
Yeah. And then so just quickly switching commentary. Victor, have you done any professional commentary on broadcasting?
I did BXL, here, and then I was actually on Japan Open. I was with Jill one time many years ago, 2015, 16, something.
Okay. Yeah. And then so Tommy, you have done quite a bit of commentary, I guess, in the last 12 months, maybe even more. How different is it from your regular, for example, podcast? Oh my God, podcast content. Listeners, I've just hit my hand on the mic stand.
Don't get nervous, CK.
I'm just so happy you also have a fail, so it's not only me. Looks like a complete amateur on this podcast.
No.
It's the best thing that could happen
camera reels from tournaments and events, you will find a lot of these things. Yeah. I mean, so quicker. Victor, one last one before you jump off. Commentating. Would you be open to doing more?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be something which I would do where people expected me to do it. But if I was at an event where I'm doing something else or I'm there anyway, to jump in for a match or two or something, that would be sure.
All right. Okay. Wow. Because I think the viewers always love your insight because you have a very, very specific insight that people can't have and people haven't experienced that process. And so I think you bring a lot of value from that process.
Did you see the deal Tom Brady he signed with? I think it was ESPN or something.
Fox, I think Fox. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was it? Yeah. If we just can sign a contract similar with,
with in front,
maybe now I will jump off and you can just work on the details and
yeah, perfect.
Signs of a true boss.
Okay. No, we will send you the contract.
Yeah. No, all jokes aside, I think for sure. And again, I would love to I think the commentators now, Steen and Jill especially, and all the work that it's been doing also with Badminton Europe and the commentating there, I think it's great, and it is very important, especially for the first time viewers as well. It's a hard balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think Victor, in terms of time, you need to go. No?
Yeah, I need to go.
Okay, I mean, Tommy and I, we can stay on it and nerd out a little bit more.
Sorry about the Wi-Fi, but it was a pleasure speaking to you a little bit, Tommy, and thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, Victor. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
And we'll see you soon. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so here we go. Now, I think for anyone who is still listening, we are going to nerd out a little bit more on the details of being a social media specialist. But no, I think just for context, right? Just for context. Just for context, I think for Victor, I think he has a doctor's appointment, so he needs to go. So that's why I think normally Victor truly does make time for something like this, and it I mean, I can say this: he's an incredibly punctual person, and he genuinely does not like canceling stuff that he's already booked in for. And so he won't do this if he doesn't have to. And so
yeah, I mean, CK, that's what I said before. For us, this is our main priority because this is our job. For him, he also has to get back on court and wants to play some more tournaments in his career, I guess. So yeah, totally understandable that he prioritizes a doctor's appointment and trying to get, especially in that rehab process. So
yeah, 100%, absolutely. I think so. Yeah, so let's go back to commentary a little bit more. So, I mean, you have a lot of information. I think for anyone that's listening, I think Tommy, you have a good CV playing as well. So you're not a bad player yourself. You've actually played at Super Series / World Tour tournaments before.
Yeah,
does the Zalolux Open count, which is the current Hilo Open?
On paper, I've played that tournament, but that was just for fun because I was there working in media. So I was there, and then I just signed up. And then somehow I made it into qualification, I think in doubles. And there was one year when it was a Super 100. So the lowest level that we've had in that tournament in the recent years. And there we qualified somehow in doubles to play. And then we won the first round because our opponents retired or withdrew.
A win's a win.
So we played a round of 16 there. But no, I'm just amateur player. Second league in Germany playing doubles, but also in that second league I was one of the weaker players. But I really enjoyed being there, and I love the competition. Last 2 years I haven't played a lot, but I want to
first?
Pick up a racket more.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I think it's the similar position for me. Like I've not been able to play or train as much, like my usual Tuesday training sessions where I listen to the podcast on the way driving there and back. Yeah, I'm not going to those, so it's quite painful.
CK, how do we tell people to play more badminton, and then we don't play badminton ourselves that much anymore? So that doesn't add up.
It's not good, isn't it? It's not. It's not looking good.
No, we have to get back into it. 100%.
Yeah, it's not looking good, and yeah, we have to get back into it. I think nowadays, if I get one session a week minimum, I'll be happy. But when we're doing events, we don't get enough time doing badminton. But actually, a little insight for everybody that's listening: when we're doing events, Tommy and I together, we have what we call push-up parties, where out of nowhere, someone would just go. She would just drop 20 and we would do 20 push-ups. Well, when I say we, I sometimes do 15 and I skip out because I need my arms for the rest of the day.
Gonna shake you with the camera in your hand, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah,
it's just we sit all day and look in our computers and phones and cameras. So it's important to move a little bit. So the push-up parties really keep us going.
Yeah, I was very impressed last year when you guys managed to do 1,000 push-ups for the 6 days of tournaments, like six tournament days and 1,000 push-ups within that period of time. That's a serious number. That's actually not bad. That's actually pretty cool.
That was a good training block. We should do that every time. Then we would be super fit, but we don't.
Yeah, so I mean, 150 to 175 push-ups a day. That's quite a lot. That's not that little. Commentary. What did you enjoy most? What did you not enjoy most? And then how can we make commentary better?
I think there are different approaches as for everything. Also for social media, that's also to wrap this one up maybe. There's no right, there's no wrong. There are so many options, so many possibilities. So if people ask me, what should we do for our federation? I don't know. Depends on what resources you have, what topics you have, what players you have, how much time you have, what equipment you have. So there's so many things that and also what you like to do. Because for example, for me, I can't do everything. So, and obviously the things that I enjoy doing most are probably the things that end up being the best pieces because I am also best at what I like doing.
Yep.
Make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're in front of the camera, so you need to be comfortable and then also be able to deliver that.
Yeah, you can't force somebody to be in front of the camera if they don't want to be. And also the same with the funny things. Sometimes you say like, yeah, we want more funny pieces. But if I'm not in the mood for funny stuff on that day, they will not be funny, you know? So you can't really like do that in a scripted way all the time. Obviously it helps to have a plan and it helps to have a script for many things.
Yeah.
And a structure, yes. But sometimes also for me, especially, things just happen. And if there's an idea, I do directly, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's a creative process, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's truly a creative process. Because I think, well, you said, we try and have structure, but we are now structuring so that we have spaces in between to allow people to be creative. And that's something that we had to learn along the way. Like, okay, creative pieces don't just come like that. Funny pieces don't just come like that. They need time to brew. They need the chemistry. People need to be able to relax, decompress, and stuff like that. So
especially if you don't have access to everybody all the time. So for example, with the federation, then if we have an idea and we can't do it this week, we can maybe go next week or in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks and see the same players at the training facility. But if we are at a tournament, it has to be in that week and it has to work in that week. And if it doesn't work, we have to find another way. So it has to be more on point. And that's, I think for the federation thing, it's a long-term game. It's not. That's also cool because they also said that in the beginning. We don't expect you to do like crazy numbers or crazy results in the first year or even the first 2 years. Just go in, do your thing, and then we see where it takes us, and then we see what we adjust on the way. And that's what works for me really well. I don't know. There are different kinds of working styles, and I'm not the super structured and person. I have to work on that, and I am. But
I mean, I have it on my notes here. It says true creative, very fluid, funny AF.
That sounds. When I was younger, I never considered myself being creative, to be honest. Never. And when people were like, it's a creative person, so you got to give him more space. I feel like, come on. What? I couldn't grasp the creative label.
They just meant you need to touch a bit more grass on the outside.
I don't really know. But maybe, it's a process, and you also learn what suits you and what your style is. And then I think I'm for example, also with the Badminton, with the Shuttle Squad podcast, we're not there yet. This is not the final product yet. I'm not really happy with
nobody is as a final product. The goal will be one day sitting in person, right? The goal will be sitting in person every day at the final side with with a studio.
Obviously, yes, but also in terms of content on how we structure everything. Like there are some episodes that are really nice, but there are also some episodes where I'm like, okay, that wasn't top notch. I mean, you cannot deliver 100% all the time, and that's also. I mean, as I said, if we say we record on Tuesday and 2 people are not feeling really great on Tuesday, then the episode is also not super enthusiastic on that Tuesday. So you can never schedule it to be the perfect episode. But I'm also, we gotta still do some adjustments to make it even better, like along the way with all the content that we do. But that everybody's like just constantly trying to improve. That's
I think I really like the analogy that you've put out. For us, it's because it's our professional work, and then so hence we're a bit more structured. We're a bit more like we push for it to happen. But obviously, for professional players, or stakeholders, or guests that joins our show, for example, with Viktor, he really truly dedicates time to something like this. But this is not his main. This is not his main thing. And then so I think that context is also incredibly important. And if he's feeling poorly, or any of your, like the Shuttle Squad cast is feeling poorly, like that day, it's, like you said, it's not going to be 100% top notch, but at least we're still getting it done, and there's still content, still very, very good discussions all the time. And then, we still have done is better than perfect.
And what I also want to say, it doesn't mean that they are not 100% committed. They are. But as you said, sometimes there are just things that are more important for the athlete and also for the person. And then I'm also like, okay, this is just a fun project, I'm not you're not getting any salary from me for recording. So if you don't feel like it and you're not really in the mood, then we can maybe do it tomorrow. We do it the next day, and we still get it done somehow, and we find the best possible way to do it. But nobody's dying if we don't record an episode today. So.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that we're here.
I know. It's been hard. Like it's been a really interesting journey. I think whilst we started the question on commentary, obviously now we're talking about podcast.
I think for again,
Yeah, for the viewers and listeners, for us in terms of context, like for us, the hardest bit is not the conversation. The easiest bit is actually when everybody jumps on and then we start talking. I think that's the easiest bit. For me, the toughest part is coordinating everybody's schedules because of the players that we work with, because of the guests that we work with. They're often in different parts of the world globally at the same time. And so we have different time zones to account for, different schedules to account for. And if a player is competing or we're at an event, they normally have to prioritize the tournament itself because that's their job, So and hence schedule changes. If they win, they need to start recovery. They need to prep. They need to cool down. They need to go talk to the physios. They need to go talk to the mental coach, whatever. And then so for us, we then go, oh, we're there also to do a job, and we only record these podcasts when there's a gap in between our work. And so if the schedules don't match, yeah, we really try very, very hard. I think people don't see the coordination in terms of the amount of juggling. We're doing 6-7 motions at the moment, but the juggling that we have to do to try and get this out.
Yeah, I mean, the best example is the season open that we did for the Shuttle Squad season 3 now recently at the All England. It was the first episode since November. And then obviously the goal is if you start the new season, you want to have the whole full squad there, and we wanted to do it in person. And then we wanted to do it at the German Open, but then Kirsty was injured. And Kirsty got injured, and Marvin was not there because Tuk was injured, his partner. So we couldn't record at the German Open. Then we said, okay, let's do that at the All England. Then Kirsty was injured with a calf injury, was only there on Wednesday evening until Thursday evening. And Marvin was also there playing. He was out already, so he had a little more time. But Christo was still in the tournament, playing 2 disciplines. So he was playing doubles in the morning, then singles in the evening. And so we had a really narrow time window. So we tried to set it up. But in the end, we missed Christo because he was still on his way to the hall when we were done recording. So yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we still said, okay, let's push it out and get going again. Doesn't matter. Next episode he'll be on.
Yep. And I think I just wanted to repeat what you said. Like everybody's committed on the project, both on the Shuttle Squad as well as on ours. Like Viktor is truly committed to this project as well. And so hence sometimes if I think as a viewer or as a listener, when you're watching this or when you're listening to this and you go, oh yeah, he sounds a bit off or CK sounds a bit off, whatever. Where there's a lot going on behind the scenes besides what you see on screen or what you hear on screen, but everybody's like we're all humans and we're committed to this project, and then for us like we still want to push stuff out there. We really try very hard to stick to the schedule. I don't think we've ever missed an episode yet so far, but we try.
We did. We missed a few.
I mean, but then I think because we have a slightly more relaxed schedule, I would say 1 episode every 2 weeks, and then internally we do have a few more things that we have to finish as well. Like we have to have 5 teasers, so like 5 short pieces, which has to be captioned accurately, and we want to make sure because of accessibility, we're very, very keen, and we make sure that we want people to be able to enjoy the content that we're making. And so these are the little standards that we have put in place, and we said, look, this is something that we will invest in, and we want to do that. So hence 1 episode every 2 weeks was okay. Like it's still tough. Like I find it very tough to get it out once every 2 weeks.
For sure. CK, what is project wise the thing you're looking forward to the most in 2026? Not podcast, everything.
Yeah, no. I said this actually fairly recently, to everybody. I think this is something that people might not know. So I think online people see us at events and stuff like that. We do have a wide team working with us, and hence, for example, me and Tommy, we get to work together regularly. I guess a few times a year. One of the biggest goals was I want everybody that's working on the tournament or on our team to be paid. So we still have volunteers working with us at various tournaments all around the world. Volunteers who actually oftentimes come in with their own equipment, who are at a professional level already, and it's just the budget doesn't stretch that far. And so people are taking annual leaves, taking time off their schedule to come and do tournaments. Often with us, but then sometimes also on a voluntary role. I would love to be able to have everybody that actually is on official media teams wherever they are globally in the world, to be in a paid position, in a freelancing position. I think this is the same for. I can guess that I think it is the same that goes across many other sports as well. But obviously, a little goal of mine would be I want to get everybody that's working with us professionally to be paid professionally as well. That's my little goal. That's something that I want to aim for this year.
Yeah, that would definitely be very well deserved. I mean, you started the same way. You also started going to the tournaments and paying for your own accommodation and trip and everything. And I did the same in the beginning.
Yeah.
So obviously we know where people come from, and we want to change.
That's how we met.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That's literally how we met. I think for everybody who's listening till now, here's a little refresher of how Tommy and I met. 2023 Yonex All England, I believe, was the very, very first tournament. You were there for Badminton Europe. I was there on my own. And then again, like that week, I paid for the hotels, I paid for the travel, I paid for the time that I take off work to be there. And so I see the other side.
I couldn't believe it that you were actually, you were in the mix zone all day doing all those interviews, like from morning till evening. And we were the last two guys in the media zone. So I remember like the first few days, I just saw you like, yeah, okay, there's one more person that I don't know because I didn't know anybody because it was my first time at the All England. And then after day 2, 3, I was like, okay, he's also staying every night. So what's wrong with him?
He's also a weird one.
Yeah. Then we started talking and you're like, yeah, I pay for everything myself. I'm like, why do you do that? You should get paid. Why do you pay? Doesn't make sense. It's not even like you come out with zero, you know? But you just paid a lot for it, so even more, incredible. And then I said, okay, let's come to the Hilo Open, and that's when we really started working together. That was really cool.
Yeah, I think Hilo Open was probably the first tournament that I actually got paid to do work officially for the tournament. And then so thank you for that. And then I think since then we've been able to work a few times a year on our side, early in the season with All England, German Open side, and then towards the end of the season Hilo Open as well. But yeah, so it's a start, I guess, and then from there on, I think the most expensive tournament that I've paid on my own to go probably has to be the World Championships in Denmark, in Copenhagen. Yeah. That week was very expensive. But again, I think when we say on average a person needs to spend, I would say 2.5K to 5K a week out of work to go and do these tournaments. The what's it called? The dollar value is US dollars or in euros. That's normal. Is pretty normal. And so hence you have to invest in it before you actually get to a level where people can pay you for your work. So yeah, we all have to start somewhere.
That's true. And look where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, like here I have on my notes here the business side of it all. Like you're running your own team, like you have Fabi, you obviously on the multiple projects that you run with, and then also you have the Hilo side, which you then work with another team that actually we've been working together with Michi and stuff like that. I mean, how do you balance it all? Like you said that on the DBV side, the German Federation side, you have 10 hours a week. Obviously, we know that you also work with Yonex Germany because you're in the offices right now.
Yeah,
and then you also do work for Hilo. Yeah, so you're running this media empire that's actually growing across Europe.
No. It's not an empire.
How do you balance it all?
I mean, you have to make some money. That's how we start, because as you said, if you want to work in that field and you don't want to pay for everything yourself, you have to work for somebody who's paying to send you to a tournament and for your work there. And as we also said before, budgets are not really big with the federations. So the federation, I mean, Fabi is there half-time and I'm there like 10 hours. So it's not even one full-time position.
So it's 0.75 FTE.
Yeah, we share a 0.75 position at the moment. And so there you need some other people you need some other jobs basically. So for me, I had the chance to work with Yonex Germany right after I came back from living in Denmark for a year when I worked for Badminton Europe. And then also through the Hilo Open, made contact with the Hilo brand, with Ursa Farm, the pharma brand behind the product Hilo. And they just like the content there, so they were like, okay, can you also do something for our brand? So that definitely also helps me a lot to work for them, and I'm really grateful for the opportunities that I have with Yonex and Hilo that make it possible for me to put so much time into badminton, and a little tennis with Yonex as well, but mainly badminton. And yeah, that's basically the reason for it, because you have to make it work somehow. And there's not one big player who is willing or who can
fund
pay you
everything
full time. So you have to split the bill a little bit. And that I'm also really thankful that they all work together so well. So if for the federation, it's cool that I also do some stuff for Yonex. For Yonex, it's okay that I work for the federation. For both of them, it's okay that I have my own project that I work on. So it wouldn't be possible if not everybody would be willing to give me so much freedom. And also with Fabi helping me so much with the especially with the DBB content, because I mean he's also a huge part of it, even more than I. As I said, he has 20 hours, I have 10, so he's doing more work than I am. But also with the shuttle squad, he helps me a lot with the editing and everything. So he definitely clears my back, so I can put my head around like all the different things. And if he wouldn't be so patient, I think we couldn't do it, because sometimes I'm a little chaotic. I have to admit that. So it's also tough for me now. And it's also tough for me to work, because when I work only for myself or on my own, I somehow get it done. But if there's more people relying on my work or me reporting or me sending things through or
bottlenecks,
you're not working for yourself anymore, and then you have more responsibilities.
A team.
And that's also something that I'm just just learning along the way.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think both of those are in very similar positions. Although in different parts of the world. But then, I'm in the UK. You're in Germany,
and also you have to coordinate a lot. So I think you're even way better in the managing part and the structuring part and everything. So you know how it's done.
I think the moral of the story for everybody that's actually listening here is it's not impossible to start if you're not already in the door, So I think both Tommy and I think we are literally here because we've taken time out of our own schedules. We've put our own money into going to sharing the sport that we love, and then with that, I think people saw our passion for it, and also I think the output that we're actually producing, and then from there, physical work that can pay our bills actually started coming in. And then from there, once you're doing it for, I think they always say like 10,000 hours is the minimum to be good at something, right? I'm fairly sure both you and I have spent more than 10,000 hours on talking about and doing something like this. And then so now we're at a stage where we're in a very lucky position to be able to do the work that we do. But it funds our life. It pays our bills. Some things we still do for love. For example, I think both our podcast doesn't make you money until you get to Joe Rogan style, right? So but we love it, and then we still talk about it because it's super important that the feedback that I get as well, is incredibly important. It's really humbling, like genuinely really humbling. Like people come up to me all the time and say, hey, because you've talked about this, I've learned this, and then you've talked about this, and then now we're making changes to this because this was talked about. I think moral story would be genuinely, if you are unsure or on the fence, if you should start talking about your passions, absolutely go for it.
Definitely. And I think like 5-10 years ago, I didn't even know, I wouldn't know where to start, because there was nobody doing it in badminton. So I think now with you and also me and some other people doing content, people see, hey, there is a possibility to do that in badminton, and more people just start doing something, and that's so good. I mean, obviously for us, it's also competition, but I think that is really, it's really good that we just get more and more people doing
a
stuff
different
like that.
variety.
Yeah. And also young people reaching out and be like, hey, we really like the content you do. Can I do my internship at stuff like that?
Oh, I get a lot of that actually.
Yeah, and wow, that's so cool. I mean, I would have loved if I would have known somebody to ask that 10 years, 15 years ago, I would have definitely done it. So whenever it's possible, I try to offer that and make it happen. But obviously, we also have a lot to do, so it's not always we can't offer it to everyone. Yeah, but it's really cool that people reach out and try to get into the field. Love it.
Yeah, It's not always pretty. I think we have to caveat that as well. It's not always pretty, but I think the really good upside is you get to work with a lot of your friends who share the same passion as you are. I think we're in a lucky position where we work with some of our friends, and then we really enjoy that process because everybody's pulling in the same direction. And then I think that's a huge plus, huge bonus. For example, like you working with Fabi, I think that's I think something that, you know, in a normal working position is quite difficult to do so. But now that, you know, you have the flexibility and also the freedom to be able to create as and when you need to, and then work as a team to be able to push forward with a lot of the ideas that's coming out. Yeah, I think that's a huge benefit, huge plus. And also, like you said, if you're inspiring people all the time, that's the most humbling thing ever from that side.
And also, CK, I'm just a kid who loves sport, you know. I just wanna, is there anything better than going to the All England, to World Championships, to European Championships, and just sit courtside in the best possible position and watch those maniacs go at it with full speed all the time? I mean, that's the best place where you can be if you love the sport of badminton. So I'm just so thankful that we get those opportunities like so many times, and I want to do it as long as I can.
Yeah, I mean, you've just literally reminded me of the content piece that we did with Chen Tangjie when we brought him courtside to try and learn how to shoot for badminton photography. And
he was just so happy.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody, if you've not seen it, please go into the Yonex All England official YouTube page. There's the full video there. Tommy was the person that's actually filming it. I was courtside with Tangjie. And there's a lot of hilarious BTS and bloopers that hopefully one day we will be able to push them out. But yeah, like that piece again, like the comments that he made was, oh my God, like you guys have an amazing angle, you know, like courtside. Unfortunately, nowadays I don't get a lot of time to go on courtside to film and shoot, but so I really cherish them. But it is pretty impressive. Like, you know, like you walk out into the hall, like say at the All England, like on finals day, 8,000 people in the arena, and then you are in that next to the service judge or the behind the service umpire.
That's also the thing, CK. That's a question that I have for you actually, because now you are growing a team like really, really well, and it's getting bigger and bigger. For me, for example, there's this feeling like, do I want to grow that team or do I want to be doing it by myself still? Because obviously the being courtside, the filming, the doing the interviews yourself it's the most exciting part of it all. So I'm always like, okay, on one hand, you want to build, kind of make a business out of it, you know, grow the thing, scale it up. If it's possible, but on the other hand, I still want to do that. You know, I don't want to be in the media room and just managing the team and sending them out, and they do all the cool stuff. I want to be out there. So that's a struggle for me, for example. How do you handle that?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I have thought a lot about that. I think over the last, I would say maybe a lot more in the last 12 months. I think a lot of it comes down to. So from my side, my responsibilities now is to make sure our team gets paid. Like that's my role. I see my role as that. Like I need to make sure, because I think people's rents and I think people don't realize it, but people's rents, mortgages and food relies on our company being able to generate enough revenue every month to make sure everybody gets paid, contractors or not. Fair. That's fact. And so I see my role as that. And then so my responsibility is to make sure we get enough in every month to make sure everybody's on board and they get paid. And so from that part, a lot of it is down to what the client's needs for every specific project. I don't mind sacrificing my bit of fun if someone else can do it better than I do. And so that's the position that I've taken. If, for example, like you're a lot better than off the cuff stuff, you know, like sometimes with the players and stuff like that. So with like Tommy, you take the lead on that one. I don't mind not doing it. And for example, at the All England, our team, Nick, colleague, excellent at interviews. I mean, I can do them, but he's excellent. And so there's no need for me to be interviewing that if Nick can do it better than I do. And so that's the position that I've taken. And I go, look, I don't mind not doing it if somebody else can do it better than I do. And that's the whole point of me bringing them into this project. If they can do it better than I do, the client gets a better project. And then the impact is better. let's absolutely do it. That's my position. Ultimately, it goes down to the client, and then so we want our clients to really enjoy the work that we do. We want to bring them the impact that we set out to do, and hence that's why the strategy and all that was so key. And yeah, like we bring the best peoples we can all the time to every single project that we handle, and so I don't mind taking a step back if others can do it better than I do. So that's why they do it instead of me. And so hence I really cherish the time I get courtside, because obviously I still want to practice as well, because if I don't practice, then or if I don't get better we lose skills, right? And so I want to continue being courtside, but then I don't get to do, I don't know, like 10 matches a day. I get maybe one a day max, you know? So yeah, we're running a team. It is a business after all. We need to make sure people get paid. And we want to give the best product to the client every single time. And so that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, at some point, for example, if you talk your own channel and you started with just yourself, you have to do everything yourself. But the more people you bring in, the better the product gets, and the more professional every part of the whole thing becomes. So definitely you have to pick roles, and it's also really it's really a big skill to have trust in your team and let them do. That's also a process that takes some time, I guess. But if you have the right people around you, it's the best part of it also.
Yeah, 100%. I think you will have this problem. I think as with anyone who was doing everything solopreneur, now having a team around you, the most difficult part I find is downloading what you have in your head onto other people's desks and letting them execute the vision that you have inside your head. And so for us, like we spend a lot of time developing processes that helps with this process. And so they don't have to rely on me to make sure that this piece of job can get done, you know, like, so we invested in infrastructure, softwares, hardwares, equipment, and then process workflow as well. Because if everything relies on me, say if I'm ill for 2 days, everything goes kaput. And so it's too much risk, as a company, and so it's not good for me or the company. And so that's why we have to make sure that these processes are in place. And also we're always thinking about the execution of the client, right? Like they need something delivering at the best level possible, and so we want to always 1% better every time. Like every time we push out something for them, it's to the best of our ability at that point in time. And then so if you come back, I don't know, next week, the week after, we will always try and be better. That's our goal. And hence sometimes I have to take a tough decision. I don't get to sit courtside anymore.
Part of the game of growing the whole thing, I guess. Yeah. But I think, again, going back, if you really enjoy what you do, I think this is for everybody who's listening. If you really enjoy what you do, like, go for it. Don't be shy. I think I recently read a line. I think embarrassment is the cost of entry. So if you are embarrassed or shy about what is it, but you love what you do, leave that at the door and then just send it. Obviously, the first few is not gonna be pretty, but after that, once you're through the door, you're through the door. I mean, that's also how we met, right? Like, if we had never spoken, because you go, like, I mean, this guy's also weird. He's the last guy at the media center, and then we started talking. We went to have a beer, have a few beers later, and then 6 months later, I show up in Germany, and then here we are, like running separate teams, but also teams that actually combine at certain times of the year, and it's really, really so much fun seeing, colleagues and friends grow their business as well at the same time, and everybody's doing similar but very different things. And so, yeah, like it's very, very cool. Bro, what would you have said if 3 years ago somebody would have told you you are running a podcast with Viktor Axelsen in 3 years? That's just crazy. So so it sees where we come from, sees where you are right now. So it's really impressive, and I'm honored to be a part of this one. And as you said, we definitely have to bring you on the shuttle squad, and then we can discuss even further. I think we're already 1 hour and 15.
Yeah,
Crazy,
we're
man.
1 hour 15 in. I think normally our episodes are 1 hour to 1 hour 15. Obviously today, Viktor did say that he will have to cut short a little bit. But I think, I really enjoy this format that allows everybody to be a little bit more relaxed, to be a little bit more at peace, and to be able to openly discuss any topic that we want. I think on our podcast here, we mainly talk about sport and business, and so business is a huge part of our conversations, because I think the general fan doesn't really understand the business behind it. Like badminton is a multi-billion-dollar business, but a lot of it is controlled by not many people, actually, if you really think about it, by quite a few select stakeholders, and so hence there's a lot for everybody to do if they want to enter this sector, and so and it's not impossible. Both of those are examples of that. Like if you want to do it, there's a good opportunity that you can, and then it's just you gotta prove that you can do it.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
I just want to test how many people are still actually listening. So if you are still listening, drop a ghost emoji in the comments, and so we can see how many people actually did.
Well, when you guys did it, when you and Marvin did it on your episode for something like this, I did respond. I did respond because I do. But obviously, if you're in the car and you're listening or something,
don't do it in the car.
Yeah, and it's okay if you forget.
Yeah, but actually, it's crazy that I think people don't know how important this engagement is for us. Not in terms of numbers, but in terms of getting feedback. Because you always think, okay, how can we do it better? How can we do it better? What can we do? And then if people I'm consuming a lot, but I'm not engaging a lot. So I listen to so many things, but I don't really always comment or like or subscribe or anything. I just listen to it, and then it was nice. But it shows, like, it helps the creator so much if you just drop a little comment, say, hey, this was nice, or can you ask him that next time? Or can you talk about this? It's so nice because it also gives you as a creator inspiration, and it shows you that people are actually caring, and it gives you so much more energy for the whole thing. So drop the 100%. Ghost emoji.
Yeah. From our side, the people that comment, I treat them as super fans, and they definitely do show 100%. Up consistently because like yourself, I consume a lot, and then for those that I really, really like, I would then comment, and I think every single comment that comes up, if you see on social media, wherever it is, it comes from directly me. It's not from a bot, it's me. And so the ones that it's coming from me. And so if people have taken the time and effort to write those, be it emails or comments or something like that, I read every single one of them. I might not be able to reply to every single one of them, but I do read every single one of them and really genuinely appreciate those. And some of them have actually shaped our output. So for example, Catherine, who is a deaf badminton player from Austria, she does play on the deaf Olympics, but also the able-bodied competitions. She reached out very, very early on, I think maybe episode 1 or 2, with a comment, a message to say, hey, would you be able to have captions, because it's really important for me, I can't hear. And so this allows for accessibility, and hence that's where we made that decision to go, look, we need to have captions, and we need to have accurate captions, but at least on the short form content, because long form content is too resource intensive at this point in time. But automated captions are pretty good at the moment, unless we start to Asian names, but that's okay.
All the names are difficult right now.
Yeah. Every single product name doesn't work. Every single Asian name doesn't work. Sometimes even European names don't work. But you get the gist of the conversations. But so automatic captions do work at the moment. So it's these little things that shape our output. And this is a product, and so we want to continuously improve that. So no, I think.
But also, I also want to do captions all the time, and sometimes, if you are really in a hustle and the time is just really, really limited, and then you have to make this decision, okay, I don't have the time to put captions in, do I publish or not? And then always publish.
Always.
Like that's my point of view. I want to do captions always, but if there's just no time because you have to publish and the next thing is coming on and you're in a tournament, it's a hustle, just publish.
Push it.
I mean, I totally understand that for some people, it is really important to have the captions, and I always want to do it. And if I can, I always will. But if sometimes you have to make a decision, and then it's still content. Content is king.
100%.
You know it.
Yeah. And then I think also for us, for anyone out there who has any questions for both Tommy and I, and also Viktor, just leave it in the comments below. Or, in terms of social channels, like we will be tagging Tommy in all our platforms and stuff like that when we're doing some of the promotions and also the actual full episodes. Leave us comments, because I think I can speak for myself, but I'm also sure it's the same for you. Like, we want to inspire the next generation of content creators. We want to share our journey with people. And, we can't answer every single thing unless you ask them. And so, yeah, feel free to ask them. We're super open to answering any questions. And actually, that's also how we found some of our colleagues who are now friends that we work with as well, because they reached out. They come attend tournaments on their own or something like that. Wherever possible, we try and make that happen. And then here we are with a little team on either side, and yeah, here we are. That's it.
Yeah, this is not us begging for comments. This is basically an invitation. This is an invitation to be part of the conversation and to actually participate in shaping the whole thing. So that's what I just want to say. It really helps, and it has an impact. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no shame in begging for comments.
Please give me comments.
Yeah. Okay. From my side, I think in terms of the notes, I've gone through everything that I have so far. And yeah, there are some other conversations, but then hopefully we get another chance to record another episode somehow, somewhere. Ideally, 100%. This was supposed to be in-person episode at the All England with Viktor, but yeah, unfortunately Viktor couldn't come due to unfortunate circumstances out in the Middle East, but it is what it is. We are here making it online.
We will find a way for the next one.
We'll find a way. Yeah, 100%.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a real pleasure. And
likewise.
I'm sure I'll return the favor sooner than later and invite you to the Shuttle Squad Gang podcast.
Yeah. Hopefully in person. We'll find out. We'll find a way.
Yes. We'll have to make it happen.
I think it's very important for the sport because, the young generation and people just in general are using so much time on social media. So you need to have a presence there.
The biggest compliment that I got so far was from a coach who approached me and said hey, the kids are watching the videos from the DBV channel and they see the sport in a different way and they think now it's cooler to play badminton. And that's the biggest compliment, because that's what you want to achieve. Bring more people into the sport, attract more people to the sport, especially kids, to grow everything.
For me, if I can help so many people and I can introduce the game by just, spending an hour here and there, I think is something I will continue to do. It's not so important with the financial side of things, simply just to educate people and introduce people to the sport and maybe my way also of giving back to the sport a little bit. And I really much enjoy that.
The fact that it comes from you and the power that your name gives to the things you are saying and the things that you are showing, that gives just way more powerful and has way more impact than anybody doing it. So really cool that you put focus on that.